Manzemi nakwambia, we used to even have a Sagem. Sagem used to vibrate on the table. If Sagem has not turned into a dildo company, I don't know what they're doing.
That is
they should have evolved. You know, like how different companies. if Sagem are not making vibrators, I don't know.
They had one chance.
I swear to God.
The mics are blood clot open. Check.
Select accent for the podcast.
Calvin always late.
Mics are open, episode 293. My name is Andy Young.
My name is Big C.
My name is George Nyamita. But
why are we clapping?
Because it's been a hell of a clappy weekend.
Okay. No hands. Hands, no hands.
Pause.
Hands, no hands.
No hands.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
The clapping.
No, me, I'm saying about clapping Bond 7, buana. Hey!
Oh, sasa.
Hey.
Influencers no akora. Influencers no akora.
Hey, buana. How you guys though? Ukwaje?
Uko fiti? Last time unajua nilikuja hapa huko.
Serious?
Wasawa wameimba kwa
kidogo kunyimeka.
We need Calvin now.
Nilikuwa nimecheki hapo na cheki watu.
Nyamita hii ni game. Nilikuwa kuonyesha, nilikuwa nimefeel lakini sitaki kuonyesha nilikuwa nimefeel. Nikata nilikuwa nimesahau.
I threatened his seat on this podcast.
Manze, nimekumbuka.
But now when G was away, G is in Asia, right?
Yeah, he's in Asia.
He gave me a call because I think I'm the only one who's been in Asia among you guys also.
Yeah.
So when you guys maybe travel as much.
I've gone Asian, but I haven't gone to Asia.
Ati umekula sushi unafikiri umeenda Asia.
Labda sio you Asian.
Ati umeenda cocktails Tai Chi. My friend, no,
but let me ask you though, speaking about Asia, right? How many countries did you hit while in Asia? Mulienda when? But you've been there twice recently.
So I did Thailand, I came back, then I did Singapore, Malaysia.
Singapore, Malaysia. Yeah. You don't need a visa to go to Malaysia and Singapore.
Yeah.
Both of them, yeah?
Yeah, but in Thailand you need a visa. Yeah. Embassy ko hapa nini? Hapa Kilimani. Rose Avenue. Yeah. I knew that.
Gia kanambia while I'm away, since you understand the dynamic here, we can connect through the time difference.
Yeah, exactly.
For him. And that's why I'm here.
Good one.
Yeah.
But pia nyinyi mjitume mzenange tu hapa Arusha mkienda mbali Arusha guys.
Kuna representatives wetu manzi. Kuna representatives wetu.
Huyu ni wa Ghana, London.
Manzi anaongana South Africa, Rwanda.
Me like here's the thing, right?
You're quite greedy.
Why? What's he done?
Why?
He's December. Umse alikuwa Ghana manzi ana show off. At what? Okay. Pause.
Bro,
ulikuwa so greedy Ghana. Nilikuwa so jealous. Nilikuwa naona stories za Calvin na umsana have that experience. But sasa wametutolea visa ya.
No, but it's always been like that. It's been a while.
Not even that. Nyamita acha kuchapia. After all that, anarudi anatuambia it's not even that man. Like case tumejibamba but right now it's not even that.
No, my thing is this, right? Here's the thing. Ghana is an absolutely beautiful place, right? But I said that there's a lot that Kenya is advanced in. There's a lot of learnings we can take from it. When I loved it. I had a good time. It was a fantastic whatever. But in terms, even when I speak to Ghanaian guys like Eddie, Eddie comes here a lot, right? He's a DJ. You know Eddie, right? And Eddie just says, hapa hivi in terms of offering restaurants, nini, tukonazo mob sana. But if you look at like now the way Ghana's been marketing itself, they've done a good thing. But still, and you were saying it. You said it very well. Ulisema in December tunakuwaga na bash kuruka.
Yeah.
Kutoka like the 12th all the way mpaka I think the 12th of Jan or something. Yeah. Actually even November. Tukishafika 10th October. Watu washaanza.
Marakari yakianza ile pesa yake.
October Christmas, maybe November. Yeah.
So we have something, but it's just because, and someone mentioned it very well. I was on a call with someone, Juicy. They said the problem with us is we're not as organized as they are. Alafu pia hatutaki kufanya kazi kimoja.
I think that's the one.
Like now when I was at that BAL game, unacheki guys have agreed we'll go for a BAL venue. after party tutaenda hapa, kutakuwa na bash, na sisi wote tutatoka after party tutaenda club fulani na club fulani. So you see all of that is an ecosystem where guys have benefited. But
like
juzi nilicheki mkirushwa chini na Kachero. Shagona to Kachero. Kachero amesema Kenyan DJs are superstars. Amwezi akaposta event. Alafu
what's going on? Nini story mimi nasikia sahi?
You didn't see?
No, I didn't see.
Kachero over the weekend posted up a photo. Shagona to Kachero. And he had
Kachero ni nani?
Kachero is the guy who runs Manhattan.
So sema hivyo man. I don't know who
Kachero
that is.
runs Manhattan with BN and Owich,
okay.
right?
Big up
he's
Kachero.
one of the guys. And Kachero is also the guy who does you know this bash that happens at Sankara. Ile ya Johnny Walker. I'm forgetting the name. Not Walker Town.
At Sankara.
Yeah, ile mfanyongo pale chini. But I'll tell you. No, it's a good bash. So he's heavy in the event area. So you're saying that there's something that's happening in Kenya. I didn't read all of the posts that he put out, but he showed a poster of Ghana, the musician, posting and saying, I'm going to be at this particular venue, at this club, at what. Even when Chris Brown was performing in in SA, you saw him, this is only after party, after the bash, I'll be at this club. So you're saying that Kenyan DJs have become superstars, that they don't even want to post about, hey, I'll be at a particular club. And you're saying that some of these DJs are also saying, hey, begging for some of these gigs. But now when you tell them, hey, post so that we can, at least it can contribute to people coming towards the club. Nika Andy, watu watasema, oh, Andy anacheza hapa, wacha tuende hapo. But these guys are just like, maybe I'll just do a Insta story or something, or I won't even, you know, like how I see you, Grouchy G, post up a video, and so many other DJs, I can't name all of them, but there's now a bunch who just are like, hey, bro, me a fikad bana.
Now, let me play devil's advocate. One, ebuangalia tuseme mse kama Grouchy tuseme ako gig kutoka Tuesday ama Wednesday, tuseme Wednesday all the way until Sunday. If he posts every flyer that he's gigging at all week, and sometimes he has like 2 gigs in a day, social media kitakaaje? Unaona haitakuwa na persona, haitakuwa na identity. And pia honestly mse kama mimi pia nikiangalia hata pale kwa Insta stories, and these DJs who are booked and busy every day, pale kwa Insta story yako nikicheki tu ni gig. Mse kama mimi ambaye ni consumer kwa social media nitakuwa like okay, it's just a gig. Hakuna kitu kingine nacheki pale. Ni kama dem ambaye the only thing she shows you is her ass. Hadi lini? Nimecheki haga peke yake.
I don't think that's a good
it's not a good example.
I use a different one. Nonyesha content but show me something else.
Jaribu kuangusha nini? Busy OnlyFans. Come on.
But anyway, I'm just being facetious.
chai. Wewe wacha.
Sema mtu anauzaga chai kila siku. Angalau onesha nini? Video za watu wakiunda chai India. Unagea
Oops, sorry.
Touching a sensitive topic.
Even chai can be a mess.
And mmekuwa triggered by you guys
chai
okay?
Bwana.
Mko sawa?
Ukandani una follow Sharasa daily.
No sio hivyo ni ile design yenyewe.
Bila lakini wacha nikushow. Mimi sijaiona demana haga. Ana haga kwa gram. Aoneshi yo haga. Like you've ever seen even those photos for like the tan.
No, ni sawa.
The mirrors are like
it's okay. Show it off. Mimi sikatai but ni ile frequency.
This is your fighting power.
Ni sawa but we imagine umeenda pale kwa gram yake kila reel ni haga. It's the same pose. Kila post ni haga. It's bro, come on.
There's no problem with that.
Post, I'll tell you that.
No, let me use a different example. But
no, kwani mseuza gari anafaa kuwa na post nini? Mkokoteni.
Exactly. No, so that's the thing. So
exactly. So uko na haga, onesha haga.
So nikishinda nimepost kila klabu, I'm just promoting you niggas businesses on my socials.
Yes, but here's the thing. Yeah, they're paying you.
So, but you're just paying me for that one night nilete vibes, nilete mashabiki wapige bash. But you see, no, here's the thing. It's understandable and it's something that we can't do anything about. But these guys wako na DJs on a play there every night, right? So there's someone posting about them every night, every day. As in e-clubu, maybe wame repost kitu ama they've been, what do we call it on IG? kufanya real na msema
collaboration,
yes. Somebody has collaborated with them. So my point is, they get this constant validation every day.
Yes, but so, which is okay, Andy. Yeah. And I hear your point. Yeah. But here's the thing. You as a DJ,
yes.
For instance, where are you playing this Friday?
Not confirmed yet,
right? But you see,
Sato ni Komasos.
You get so like for me at times I don't know what's going on, to be honest, right? And I see your point.
Yes.
But also I see where Kairo was coming from, right? Yes. It's a business where we're saying, hey, I'm gonna pay you however much for you to play. At times I'm coming to you because of your core audience. Like I know Shema plays on Sunday at Milan.
I don't know.
Right? Yeah. And I see him play at Nairobi Street Kitchen. Like I see exclusive at times, or John play at BND on a Friday Sato. Like I've picked up those kind of things. I know now there's Mass House, there's a thing called on Friday called Club Night. But now maybe I like how...
But you know also, if then also to maybe side with Andy, sometimes Andy posting will not move me.
Yes.
Because I might not go to Manhattan to see Andy.
Yeah.
But I will be at Mass House whether or not Andy's coming here. So back of my mind, I already know I'm going to Mass House over the weekend.
Exactly.
Regardless of who's playing.
Inconsequential.
So him posting won't change anything.
Yeah, but what I'm saying this, right? So I understand where both of you guys are coming from, right?
Yeah.
But there's a huge percentage of people, because I feel like we're spoiled in terms of thinking, hey, there's social media.
Yeah.
You get that everybody has TikTok, everybody has Instagram. Like say for instance, the other day I went for polo. I was with a friend of mine, right? And we didn't know how much polo entrance fee was. And us guys went onto the polo page and we were looking at it. Unaelewa?
Yeah.
Because I honestly didn't know how much polo is, because every time I've been there it was this or what, or you know, we entered with some member, I don't know. But there's that market who don't know, who probably don't follow you, but there's now guys who know you because of Candy Sessions. And they're like, hey, where can I experience all of this live? You get, like, I'll even use another example. It's like if we say we have Afrobeats versus dancehall, and we all decide, we're not going to post, we're not going to talk about it.
Now that's extreme. It is. But I get you.
So it was a very interesting conversation. Also, so I just thought about it.
Kitu ingine ni, and it's a conversation I was having with someone who started acquiring my DJ services for a new sport. Walikuwa tu wana grow and all that, and alikuwa na come from a background ya mse amefanya social media, digital, maybe a bit of marketing hapa na pale. So kuingia kwa entertainment scene, alikuwa big on, unacheki badala sasa kupost maybe a flyer on your social media, kama maybe kina Grouchy, kina Jimani, mna record video, mna hype up, mnasema yo ni aje, my name is on, nitakuwa huko nini. So according to him, alikuwa ananiambia yo kitu wange na work man's end, an advocate for every DJ. That's why anytime he's organizing an event, anambiango DJ tafadhali record video nini. And I was like, sawa, I understand from a marketing perspective, yes, it can work. Na aliniambia by the way, ali make comparison ya gigs zenye wamefanya hiyo kind of approach when it comes to promoting and just flyers, na yenye DJ wanga anaposta kisema yeye mwenyewe anakuja, imekuwa na a better turnout. Unaona? But point yangu kwake ilikuwa, I respect that. And mimi ukiniuliza, if I have no other option, nitaifanya. But mtu kama mimi, nitaifanya shingo upande. Cause I don't feel like me saying in front of a camera, introducing myself again, niseme nitakuwa nacheza this particular sport on this day, come for the vibes, blah 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 blah, mweke maybe kwa social yenu ama mimi niweke kwa social yangu. It's not, I don't feel like it fits my style of promoting myself. For you guys, yes, maybe kama tuseme ni Mass House ama kama ni Alloy, yes, this could work for you guys, but for me as a brand, I don't feel like it's the best thing for me. Kwangu mimi na cheki, mimi nipatie ni flyer, weka uso yangu hapo mahali, bla bla bla, give me the poster, mimi niteka either kwa grid yangu ama nitarusha kwa stories. To me, I feel like that is enough of a call out for my guys. Ukiona Andy yangu kwa poster, club iko wapi, the same way maybe if you're looking to go out one weekend and you're not really sure where you want to go, you're considering a couple of options, utaanza kuangalia maybe maflyers, uta search IG, what's going on, ni DJ yupi anacheza huko, such things, unaona.
And that is exactly what he was saying, because you see there's a point where you're green, and there's a small, actually majority of what he's saying, you're green with, right?
Yes.
Because there's a person who follows you.
Yeah.
There's a person who doesn't follow a particular club.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
And there's a person who's going to go to a club because everybody, it's the in thing. Like
Yes.
I can tell you, there's enough guys who've not been to Mass House.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But there's guys who've been to Milan or have been to BND. And now, in the end month, wasiwako, hey, e club nilienda. And they'll probably go there and discover Andy.
Yeah.
He's playing, and now your journey with Andy now starts, and so on and so forth. So I feel like it's an ecosystem where each person needs to treat each other with the value that you bring.
Yeah.
And also that said, like I've had people saying, oh, this club didn't pay me and didn't do that. So in that kind of regard, they should also respect you because of what you did.
Kuna kitu ingine manze, cause okay, fun and games aside, jokes and games aside, post up manze, wakitengeneza flyer, they're paying a social media guy, they have a digital team that's putting in some work. Did you keep your poster? Irushe pale manze. Your story, the energy that you come to me with when you are acquiring my services, I want to say 9 times, but I'll say 8 times out of 10 haikwangi reciprocated when it comes to the remuneration. Yani vile bro, nakwanga nimekuwa bumper, really kwa wapi? Post up manze. Ambia wasi wakuje. Pale kwa radio station unazambia, I'm like,
unaweza sneak my mention.
You know what they do. But bro, gigi mekuja umekill shellings nini.
Sasa we're following up,
bro.
Nakumbuka story yako bro. Nafuatilia.
I'm like, why do I have to follow up manze? Why do I have to follow? So talk to your guys manze, wakina Katero and company man. I'm not saying they do that and I'm not saying every establishment does that, but 8 times out of 10 me can tell you as a DJ inakuanga frustrating sana, and not just as a DJ but even as an influencer, and I know you can bear me witness. Unaona, maybe client amekuja on board, amekuja na agency, KPIs imekuwa communicated, sawa, let's get to it. Client anafeel umeka your effort and I feel like nah man, haiwezi. You go back, you redo, una make sure quality ko top notch, but then come time for remuneration, the game starts.
Afadhali tukinyonge bwana.
Sijui signatories, sijui nini.
To finance ako leave.
Ati tungoje hadi Monday.
Watu wa finance
ushinda leave wanafanya.
Kwani watu wa finance let me tell you. But anyway, it's crazy out here. Anyway, that was an interlude. Nimetoka parent teacher association meeting. PTA. Man, so see, I've checked into my daughter's school. Napo napita kwa uwanja, I'm going to the school hall. Here she comes running with her kabesti, a new one. Alafu, so sasa niko hapo na sikiza
what happened to the Russian kid?
She's now in an all-girls school.
Bro, ulikilia renga boyfriend. Look, I hate this guy so much.
All-girls school.
After all those conversations we've had on this here podcast.
Unatesa Jojo.
Why?
Transfer season.
Why would you do that?
I was just like, you gotta go to a all-girls school.
High school. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
School.
Bro, when did you make this decision? Last time I was with you, like, don't you like the school?
Bro.
You and the mom agreed on this?
Nimekuwa nikifanya, what do you call it? Ma interviews pale
Market
September. nini nenda shule naona. Niko hapo na keti na mpeleka interviews shule. Unaget?
So you and the mom wanted this for her?
Yeah. We were just like, hey, go to a different school. So this school is better. Way better for sure. Like way better. 100%.
Stress my boyfriend of yours.
Kuna bwana. Manze niko hapo kwa hiyo shule now, we're discussing, they're saying, okay, rules because there's new parents and all of this kind of stuff. The deputy teachers speaking, different guys are speaking at the forum. But what caught my attention was the deputy teacher. She was like, and since it's an all-girls school, we want you to encourage them to love the other sex. I was like, what are we talking
then
about?
Then what's the point?
You get? They're like, nowadays there's this whole thing to do with girls like girls and boys like boys. We want you to encourage them.
It's true, though.
To like the other sex. I'm like,
were the kids there when she was saying that?
No, it was just the parents.
Okay.
I was just like, now they're that age, they're teens, so many things are happening.
It's important.
By the way, on Instagram, they're spending a lot of time on Instagram, sending each other messages. Parents, you need to know, like they even mentioned that there was a conversation they were having with the kids in school, and the kids were asked, would you like your parents to have access to your mobile phones? Ati wakasema no.
Of course.
Hii wanakamteki sana.
So say Tenja George unataka kuichukua.
Bila. There's no me. I have the nuclear codes to her phone.
Why are you taking small freedoms away from her, bro?
Yo, what do you mean? Me, I want to see who you're texting. Chat history. You know those when I'm in the office, I'm bored.
Same.
Let me find out what the latest lingo is. Open her phone, check. Hey, you have to be a present parent, bwana.
That's too present. Too present.
If I remember, if my mom had access to things that I was looking at my age, like at 12, 11, I think I'd have turned out better.
I'm looking.
I'd be an astronaut.
You feel like you had a lot of freedom.
Nilikuwa pale. Alafu you know, as guys, it was mobile phone. Nilikuwa Siemens C25.
Oh yeah.
You remember Motorola V22? Ilikuwa inaitwa ile Hello Moto. Hey, bro, kwanza mimi nakumbuka venye Motoreza ilitoka. Manze chaliwama inalikuwa na Motoreza. Mpaka nikamwambia to exchange na Siemens C25 for like 2 days ni fill.
Simu ilikuwa na aerial.
Bwana.
Nyinyi wazee.
Bwana. Sisi tulikuwa mpaka na ile Motorola
zilikuwa weapons.
Manze mimi nakwambia we used to even have a Sagem. Sagem used to vibrate on the table. If Sagem has not turned into a dildo company, I don't know what they're doing.
That is
they should have evolved. You know, like how different companies. if Sagem are not making vibrators.
They had one chance.
I swear to God, that phone ulikuwa unaekele kwa meza, alafu unajua that was the era you had to put them inside that leather pouch. Do you remember it?
Zile inafungwa hapo kwa belt.
Ilikuwa na leather pouch, alafu ilikuwa na anti-vibration, radiation. You used to have a thing you used to put by the earpiece, a sticker. Then you used to have a leather. You know how like nowadays we have this rubber casings for phones. So it used to be leather. Then it had like polythene at the top. So that thing is like it's inside a rubber. You get? As in the friction on the table. It's like bro, I can do this practically, I swear to God. Anybody with a Sagem out there, hit me up. We shall buy this thing.
You have a business idea for that.
Bro, Sagem.
Yeah. Sagem is a nice name for. You think baddies would be like, have you seen the latest Sagem SG5?
They give it some slick lingo like Sagem or Sage or something. I don't know.
Sage me.
Ama inaitwa sex game. Alafu sasa una get mse kutoka Jamaica anachomwa ngoma ya audio sex them sex them.
It gets worse.
Man, let's rap. See you singoche shia mazoko chini.
Ndio. Watu wanakanga bora kwa mjeza vibaya Nyamita manzi. Sio ni nini? Anaona amefanya kitu manzi. Anaona amebonga point.
So sasa you know that yo sasa kwanza in this era of TikTok ingekuwa imeblow. Me I'm even thinking about the dance.
Down. Iko chini.
Quit it bro.
Unajua nilikuwa naangalia benefits za same sex schools cause I need someone to explain it to me, like either a 50-year-old person or a 6-year-old kid, how same-sex schools still make sense in this day and age, given that society is not same-sex, is not single-sex. Matter of fact, if there's ever been a point where society has been diverse, it's now.
Society is fluid.
Very fluid.
I mean, you could say you're a container tomorrow for all it takes.
Exactly. I identify as a microphone, But...
Talk that talk, nigga.
You let the babe spit on you.
Hey, speak into the microphone, please. But some of the benefits include less gender stereotyping, more relaxed environment, easier lesson planning, and more effective teaching methods.
Why were you saying the school is better than the previous school?
Yes.
So, first the school's bigger. So it's got size matters for sure. Okay. So it's got the primary school and it's got the high school.
Okay.
So it's a bigger school also in terms of like the history.
Okay.
Like I know enough like different women who hold very great positions in society who went through that school.
Okay.
You get like I like the doctrine and how they've been taught and the mannerisms. I really like that. So I mean when it came to the argument about it, I was like, hey shit, okay, this maybe it might be a bit more expensive, but in the long run, it's an investment into your kids. Unajua mtu ni retirement plan yangu, nitakuwa namcall namwambia, yo, pesa ya Kasamigo siko wapi?
Kasamigo in retirement.
Hata mimi nangoja kutumiwa.
So anyway, but all I'm saying, no jokes aside, right?
Yeah.
So it was worldview is very important.
Yeah.
Especially when you have more teachers, there's more students, there's more activities, like even in terms of like when I was looking at what extracurricular activities they have.
Yeah.
They've got the piano, violin, swimming, tennis, badminton, like vitu ni mob, all of those different kind of things. But where she was before, it was very limited. So all of these kind of things. Alafu nowadays you just can't awezi enda shule ka venye si tulienda shule. I mean, we had access to what do you call it, all of these extracurricular activities. But nowadays you want to be sharp enough in books, but also skills can get you. Venye tuko bana. Unaweza enda umefanya masters, umefanya nini, but what is actually paying you is probably you being able to swim or run play an instrument, all this kind of thing. So more well-rounded individuals. So that's the whole essence of it. But also I like that the ladies.
I'm enrolling huku.
Beginning of this year.
How is it going so far?
So far so good. I mean, week 1.
Does she like it?
Yesterday I was on phone with her, but today I bumped into her at school, but I had to leave. Nimwambia, you take your school bus because today is recording day. But I mean, day 1 I was like, Kenya, this is a spoilt girl. She was like, I don't like the fact that we don't have break. So they don't have tea break.
What do you mean they don't have tea? What do they like the 10
so what
10
happens?
break?
Ngoja, wana report chuo saa ngapi?
7 a.m.
7 a.m. Na kuna tea break.
So you carry your own snacks.
You eat in class?
Yeah, there's like a break. You can
But
go
the school
to. You can go to the.
you.
It doesn't.
So you
can go to the. You can go to the tuck shop.
The break is still there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can go to the tuck shop and eat there. You can carry your own stuff. Same as lunch, you can carry your own stuff.
Or they don't
cooler. You get. So like day 1, I'm like, so what were you guys having for lunch? And she was like something like pilau. She was like, I wanted. I was like. Get the fuck out of here. Utokona kula chakula ya shule bana. Sitaki ujinga. There's lunch.
Okay.
You get.
But the break is what you carry.
But also for lunch, if you want to carry your own food, you can.
Okay.
And if you don't want to eat from the cafeteria, you can still go to the
tuck shop and buy.
So
yanataka pocket money.
So sasa alikuwa nadhani sasa ati amekam place kuna easy options zote. She's in some heaven or something. I was like,
options,
bro, we pay for lunch at school.
Ndio nilikuwa niulize sasa kama iko kwa fee, bro, kula manze.
No. Lunch is paid separately.
So you've paid for the school.
So now you decide whether or not you're paying for that.
Hey, come on. Unadhani nani? Hey, ingia pale bwana. Sitaki ujinga.
Tunataka kulipia wa lunch man.
Ai, ati. Panga line bwana. Hey, nilimwambia kwanza, she's like, yeah, you and mom need to talk. I was like, shut the fuck up. No.
You need to talk, man.
Well, I didn't say shut the fuck up. I was like, nah.
Now talk about like her carrying lunch or something.
Hakuna boy. Hey.
But the man is also for shule.
Madhake tuliagree hiyo kuna story kayo. But what is interesting was so that was like the first week, right? Saizi ya shashika line, there's nothing much like that. But what I was having a conversation with her yesterday. So she was like, hey, some guys were going for this MUN, what is that club called?
Yeah, that model of United Nations.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So we're having a conversation about that, and then she told me about a certain school trip, sijui for what club. I think it's like a club for different schools. And she was like, hey, do you think you'd pay for me $500,000 to go for a trip? Ooh. I was like, hey.
How greedy.
I was like,
glutinous.
Bro, yo, chill.
Where are they going though?
She didn't even mention. She was just like, no, see they are going. It's like a group. It's like, say we were scouts. Remember? See Baden-Powell, where's he from? Where's the origin of Baden-Powell? Scouting and pale nini? See walikuwa na hii place ilikuwa inaitwa Roaland or some shit. Hapa mbele hapa Ngong Road. Where's Baden-Powell from?
wherever.
So you see, I don't know what exactly she was referring to, because to be honest, I was in the process of making dinner when she called.
Ulikuwa distracted.
London.
Yes. So
Paddington.
So like they say, hey, let's do a trip to the home of like scouting.
500 G's ni mwebe shule pia ni wakora.
Si hiyo shule, unaelewa. It's like scouting zote. It's like an organization.
Yeah.
You get, and I'm not talking about scouting. So a club like that, she was like, yeah, would you pay that? And I was like, yo, bro, just chill out, bana. Let's talk about other things, like your PTA tomorrow, you know.
But
yeah, like,
would you pay half a mic for her to travel maybe to another country outside?
No.
For a trip, for a school trip, like Turkey or...
No.
Why not?
I'm just not doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, like... Nah, bro.
I also don't see where 500K is being spent on that small baby.
Nah, bro. No, that's
experience. Why no? Okay.
No.
How much? Okay, here's the question then. How much would you be willing to spend, or what's the most amount of money you'd be willing to spend on a school trip for her? Or for your kid?
I don't know.
Nyamita,
I don't know. For me, here's the thing. Everybody has different amounts of money they spend. I don't want to get to the particulars of this, right?
Okay.
But from what I'm now coming to learn from all of this is now understanding parenthood in a better way, especially when they get towards the teens, right? I'll get to why I'm saying that. Because when she was talking about MUN, she was like, there's a girl who came with an iPhone to school yesterday. You get? And they were going for it, so apparently they'd been allowed to carry phones in the whatever. So you know, it's a school and people come from different backgrounds. So she was asking me, hey, since I know you use one, would you want to buy me an iPhone this year? So me, I'm like, what does she need an iPhone for? So it's those ones. Why does she need an iPhone? She doesn't even need this device. She wants an iPhone so that she can be cool.
Belong.
Like, you get, you know. But now you have to teach these kids that you can't chase that. Because if you chase it and chase it and chase it, this thing is never ending. So that's how I look at that whole thing. Because a lot of parents who, like me, will be like, ay, boss, tunalipa fee ama tunakulipia sijui which is exorbitant. Unaelewa? So that's the kind of thing. So ni kuenda shule ingine, then there's all of these new friends. It's a bigger school. So
that kind of confusion of wanting to fit in and be
to fit in. So it's now unpacking and just.
Lakini unajua uli mnyima iPhone for no, just because you said she can't have an iPhone.
Bro, skiza. Mi madhe aliniambia simu yangu ya kwanza ilikuwa hand me down.
Sasa ungempe hand me down iPhone yako.
Simensi 25 bwana.
Mbona ukuma hand me down iPhone yako?
Sasa mbona unapata example ya madha yako basi? What is the relevance of that example? If you're not handing down yours, why tell us about your mom? Why tell us about your mom?
Bro, Siemens C25. Hiyo phone ilikuwa inatoka ngirika ngapi? Unakumbuka venye ilichomoka?
Na sasa mbona mtu wako pia saizi unajua simu inatoka ngirika ngapi?
Acha ni ujinga bwana. It's not happening. Don't question these things.
The fact that she has a phone.
I'm parenting with an iron fist.
Akona simu lakini?
Ana phone.
Gani?
Ana Samsung.
Okay.
Yeah bana.
But anataka iPhone.
Sasa si ati ananiambia juzi anyway, I'm tired of talking about my daughter.
Listen,
hebu tuongee juu ya watu wamemaliza life, yani Khalif Kairo.
Khalif, what a time.
Hebu soma hiyo
message. Story mimi sile nini
inaendelea. Let
me give you context.
Anza na akiwa court.
Yes, so Cairo is Cairo has been flamboyant Nairobi businessman.
Yes.
Who was in the car business.
Boss. Anitangwa Rubani.
So please. Not just Ruba, he's also a pilot student and everything. And he runs Cairo, the car thingy. So for the longest time, he used to come on Twitter and completely shit on us.
What's some evidence? We have evidence.
No, hizo za kitambo. Wacha tuanze na leo ndo to look back to how he used to speak.
Let him cook. Let the man cook.
Let me give him an ident.
Let the man cook. Yeah.
In-depth analysis.
Oh my God.
So this guy got a case that apparently he was paid to deliver a car, never delivered, went to court in Nini. The first one went to court, then akakuwa released on 2 million bail. First of all, this guy's counsel was Cliff Ombeta and Dunstan Omari. Do you know what that means about Anyway, so he got released on 2 million bail, goes to chill with his support system, Jalango and some other guys. Okay, right? So this is a very interesting support system if you look at it. Also, the lawyers he has are not cheap lawyers. But anyway, he used to say how he has so much money. He has a trust for his kid in the Cayman. How he said the kid has a driver 24/7 at his disposal. Akasema bike ya mtu wake inaweza feed some families for years. Whatever.
Manze amekuwa akiongelesha watu mavi.
So sasa
yani unajua amekuwa akishondea watu. You know like defecate.
I got it the first time, Calvin. Yes.
Bro,
yes.
Do you know that big latrine?
I got it
this
the first time.
He's been shitting on guys. Yani umse amekuwa kipanguza watu na mavi.
As in when ika tissue.
Yeah, but so anakuambia kuja hapa. Kwanza unajua umevatisho ya white. Anakuingiza tu kwa haga.
So gets released. Bro, imagine umetoka kotini, una walk out of court kwa gari ya DCI for another case that you've been then reported for another car for about 3 miles. Another car was about 2 million. Ingine tani as you 3, you know. So he comes online, he says, you know, God is there for me. These are just tough times for me. I'm going to come back. He comes and says he's creating an investor portal for guys who believe in him to try and put in some money. The fund goes up to about 100,000. The site is no longer available.
Oh man.
100,000 USD.
100,000 USD, you don't care shillings.
Ati anasema walikuwa shafikisha chapa.
Currency.
Ati sasa ikachapua freeze.
Sasa amekuja ametuandikia leo. So let me read the tweet for you guys. Jana, after attending a mention at Milimani Law Courts, I was rearrested and held in Parklands Police Station overnight on another matter. We have tried everything in our ability to try and resolve these issues amicably. Ensure we do deliveries, but the negative media publicity and constant police involvement is putting us in deeper waters and severely affecting our ability to operate. All our offices are currently closed. I'm currently in Milimani Law Courts and will be presented for plea taking shortly. I have had an impressive 10-year run in business with 0 criminal cases pertaining cars, and thousands of people have successfully bought cars from me. Due to these legal issues, our We Funder campaign was shut down last night after crossing the USD 100,000 mark. Donald Trump currency. All is not lost, however. I am directly appealing to my supporters, friends, all clients, and associates to chip in whatever amount they can and give us a fighting chance against the unknown forces that are sabotaging my company. Proceeds can be sent to the Cairo account below. This is not an investment, but a donation. Once the dust settles, we will issue a statement and an audit trail of how we utilize the funds raised in the paybill number, account number, First of all, this thing that he keeps saying, I'm directly appealing to my supporters, friends, all clients, and associates to chip in. Bro, where were these associates? These people you keep talking about, saying how they're your support system, you have rich people. During the Mandamano period, there's a time we tweeted and told guys, you guys continue banning your country. Some of us with international business connections and everything, we could easily flee the country and set up businesses elsewhere while you guys continue to suffer here.
Haya sasa.
Wapi hizo nini? So wapi
sasa nisome watu
tweets zake za kitambo sasa ndo mambo yote.
Watu ma tweets bwana. Filled up my Porsche today. The fuel costs more than some of you guys' monthly salary. Hope you guys are all grinding hard. Inject someone say inject.
Finya. Press.
Haya, number 2. Anasema, there's a guy who tweeted at him, right? And I think the guy was Saina Juana regret. You know, he had a whole conversation. The guy replied, you can't come begging for money on my timeline. Nasio an exceptional circumstance, right? I will repeat it. Go work like other men. Unaelewa? Manzi ukiingia trending topic leo, by the way, wacha nikuambie. Leo trending topic number 1. This Cairo, 42K tweets. Guys have been saving screenshots,
bro,
for days.
There's someone who told him 30th December 2023 and said, hope you don't bring us a pay bill to Kuchangia. This guy said, my friend, stop confusing me with your broke ass that could not pay 20K cash bill and had to resort to begging money for Shenzi wewe.
Yeah, there's a guy, Kibet Bull. I tweeted at him, akamwambia usibuy vitu expensive bro, kuimpress strangers eti ndio tuseme you have money. Chalia akamwambia chief, mimi sina pesa. The people with that money That Garmin watch is something that I have wanted for almost a year now. Miku Post Hapa is just giving you content which keeps me, on this app and also pays my bill. Mimi sitawapea pay bill. My God is not broke.
Kama sai Mungu amesota.
Bro.
No sooner do you say those words.
Bro, inject this one sasa. Bro, I'm tweeting from my multi-million office in Kenya's most expensive corporate neighborhood. What makes you think validation from a Twitter brokey inanisaidia? Bro,
my guys got bars. Akipatiwa mabits anaweza angusha fire truck
kwa mjaka. Mimi hata sijaona mjaka anaongea hivyo manze. For someone called Wamboi, he had some guts.
Even me when you floss manze
Wambo alikuwa na banda bro.
So good floss apatiwe beat manze ingizwe studio.
Acha nikwambie. Your motive that whole the condescending aura against other guys and that whole gimmick of you can't get me like me, I'm that guy. Oh. It's so bad because you're true to wahenga wenyewe kwa wendo wazimu. Pride truly comes before fall.
Manze lakini Hey, so as of 1 hour ago when we're recording, right? So he's been arraigned in court over 3 million car import fraud case, right? But bro, let me tell you this, right? I've been looking at those screenshots today, and I was just like, and someone actually tweet number 2, which I even have numbers, eh?
Before you find it, do you feel sorry for him? Do you feel sorry for him?
No. Actually, this is a tweet, right? It's actually from Ferdinand Omondi, he used to be a sports journalist, right? But now he's at BBC, right? I think this is in relation to what Cairo posted, right? He said, "No, Cairo. You're taking zero responsibility for your actions and it's unfortunate. You blame media, bloggers, the same outfits whose attention you loved when it was all rosy, right? You invoke God's name and, quote unquote tribulations, but there's no evidence you're learning at all. You're not reaching out to the people you hurt and cost millions. Not even sorry, bas. You understand? Sinless Jesus asked God for forgiveness before he died. The Lord's Prayer has forgive us for our trespasses, in addition to give us our daily bread. Yet you totally ignore the clients whose millions you took and keep seeking internet validation. Zakayo paid back when he cheated before turning to Jesus. Cut down that tree.
Oof.
Guys, me, this is what I'm thinking. First of all, I don't support him saying at this tough economic times are because where I am, guys are trying to sabotage my company. Andy, sasa nikikuja nikwambie, ni aje Andy, hii watch yako ni normal, utaniuziaje hii watch? Unaambia, give me 10,000, I'll give you this watch. Unajua umesha maybe price of the watch, you've added yourself a kitu nini. I come and say, okay, no problem. I give you the 10 bands. Where is economic frustration coming in? Yet I've paid you full amount. Unajua ingekuwa ngumu kama useme mtu amelipa deposit
akakwacha hangi
useme yenyewe manzeni kunoma iko hivi boss, you have full amount including your profit, so how then is it that you still can't manage to deliver my car? It's very difficult to feel sorry for this guy.
You know this guy, bro. It's a lot now that I think about it, right? Easy stories zote akiambia wase. I mean, it's a good life, right? To live. Him pursuing aviation, doing his, it's called the PPL.
Sina is doing CPL, I think, yeah.
Yeah, he was doing his PPL.
CPL.
Yeah, he was doing his CPL. CPL, right? Yeah, his CPL. So, I mean, you can see there's ambition and all of that. We can't cut down the ambition from him. I mean, the man, he had a lot of followers, still has a lot of followers. A lot of people have followed him. But I was talking to G earlier today, and we were asking ourselves, so who are the role models out there nowadays? These are the role models.
What do you mean role models?
Cairo has a huge
point in time where everyone wanted to be like, because this guy is like 27, I think. 20.
Yeah.
He's not 30, 27, 20, yeah. 20,
somewhere, yeah.
7, 20,
all of those, he has people who are looking up to him, who've looked up to him, people who are probably going to be like, hey, okay, bro, let's back off of this, right? But now, and I told G, we live in an age where hard work is not, hard work over a duration of time is not as sexy as quick
get rich.
Yeah, you get what I mean? Because if you think about it, some of the guys who you see out here, there's a lot of people who've made their money in legit ways.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say anything about him. I mean, whatever comes out, we will know in due time, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who've made money through hard work, taken shorter periods. There's guys who've taken long periods. You never know, right? But there's guys who've also been exorbitant and been very flamboyant, and there's guys who are very quiet about the money they've made, right? But I see it now on social media more than ever. We tend to we gravitate towards all of these guys who are like, you know, in very unscrupulous ways of how they make their money. Those are the guys who are now the, what do you call it? The guys who are the role models.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
on set my standard.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, unajua it's like I don't know, sijui niseme kuna vile society imekuwa set up such that you see when we go on the internet and there's even babes joking about, or I want maybe a hood nigga, I want a thug, you know, I want a drug dealer, or when even our babes, our Kenyan women are making jokes on the internet about the Nigerian niggas, you know, and the things that they insinuate that they do to get their money, and they'll say hata fadhali huyo mwenye maybe anafanya whatever, maybe ni yahoo boy ama na pedal whatever na pedal, but cash inaingia manze kuliko maybe Kalvoko pale manze umetoka SPU unajua umefanya theology unataka kutafuta ka job, you're trying now, you know, she's going to go like I'd rather go to the finished product, quote unquote. So in a way, when the younger guys who are observing this are like, damn, so for me to get this, I can clearly see that this is not working 9 times out of 10. But it's because, again, vilumesema role models, they don't get to see enough examples of guys who've put in the work, guys who've come out on the other side. But it's because these other ones are louder. Unaona mse mwenye ameselma drugs, mse mwenye ako out here slanging whatever, you know, they're louder. But then at the end of the day pia unafaa kujiambia, like with this case, you never really know what's going on the internet, manze. Always jua. You can't take it for the truth or for this is actually what's going. Because ni mara ngapi umecheki mse yako juu and then later on unakam find this is maybe how you are getting yo, or sometimes una find out mse mwenye amekuwa kicheza chini account yake inaka maybe funny nini unapatana naye kwa ground like damn, you know, this is where it's actually at.
You know, it got me really thinking, and now I want to pose this question to all of us, right? And you know, there's no correct answer, but what are the lessons you've learned from all of this?
I think go by saying the one that's always been there is that don't succumb to these online pressures. You don't know. Unajua mimi saizi naweza kuja Calvin alikaseme, unajua I was in Ghana December. Ujiga labda alipeleka na chali yake. Huko hapo unasema hapa unajua I want to be like Calvin. All time you can't take it like him. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be like Calvin.
You don't know how he's giving it up, bro.
Niko Ghana too. Alafu kwa grab
unashangaa mbona Calvin aslamu mchana. Kumbe. Usiku ndo saa kujibamba. Mchana yaipea. Sasa ukishafika Ghana na sasa kuja ulipia return ticket. Unaona, so
yote mimi lazima nikula. Hey bro, if I'm going through that shit, watajua social media my life nikula.
So end of the day, like don't be like rushed by, because no one ever posts their bad side on social media. Mtu saizi kuja social media manze ni kubaya, manze leo manze ni so everyone wants to show their happy side. Andy atuambie vile kona gig, kona candidatation, mtu anasema wow, Andy kona gigs mob manze na make do, kumbe anafuatana na payment mtu finance ako live. So there's always that thing for you don't believe what there's always more than meets the eye.
I mean, for me, I see that, but also I think we've mentioned it over here. Bruh, I think there's what to share on social media and what not to share. And I think in this whole spirit of vindication, validation from people you don't necessarily know, or you want your name to be bigger, and also in this new age of digital influence, a lot of people will do a lot of things, right? And it's crazy to see it unfold right in front of our eyes. Like some of the comments that have been made by people, and I'm just like, wait, okay, enyewe ni kunoma. Kuna wase walikuwa nagoja hii siku.
Bro, guys bought the deep. I'm telling you, and you know, it is a long-term investment.
Yeah.
Don't hate today and wait for it to give tomorrow.
Yeah.
2 years.
Kuna mseme
kwa kingoja boys.
Kuna wase inika, unajua zile wine, unasikiaga wine imekuwa kwa nini?
Kwa sela
kutoka 1857. My grandfather's
kunafunguliwa mnalewa mbaya.
Ndio hiyo sasa. Ama ka whisky kamekuwa hapo tu mnaitoa mnafanya kakona vumbi. Ndio hii sasa.
You understand? Manze guys, yani the fact that guys had these screenshots, guys had bookmarked his tweets. There's always guys waiting for your downfall, man.
Always. And that's another lesson, man. Alafu kitu ingine, and it's not just with this case, but it cuts across anyone who is in the public limelight, and that includes us, right? Your best and your worst moments are going to be public, and that's something you have to make peace with. Like yo mimi nilikubali, like Calvin, okay, tuseme ukiwa radio, si ndio? You know your best days are going to be public, and your worst days in office are going to be public.
Of course.
Hawezi feature. Same as footballers, basketballers. Yani, kama you can't hide behind a desk, maybe in an office in a corporate environment, where maybe only the boss and your direct superior, na maybe best yako hapa moja ndio wanajua. The whole company doesn't know wagwan. Hadi unapata janitor ako like, damn, na ulichoma mbaya hapo manze. You know, so it's something you have to make peace with. Ndio ukijua, the moment I'm getting into this space, I have to know that yes, we're going to celebrate my best moments, but you're also going to see my worst moments. You're going to see my lows as well as my highs. If you don't make peace with that, then you'll only take one without the other. Utataka kuchukua mazuri, and then when it comes, down to the wire, when damn, now I have to own up to this as well, take responsibility, inakuwa ngumu. And you mentioned a very important point, ukiongelelea story ya Jojo na iPhone. Why do you want the iPhone? Unaona? Why do you want what you want? What's the thought process, what's attached to it? Ndio tukiona, okay, so you're doing this because maybe the validation inakuletea do and all that, but at what cost? Unaona, because you can be clean with it. Like mimi nilimjulia TikTok akiuza magari. I didn't know who he was. Randomly pops up on my TL. I'm like, okay, maybe his presentation style inakaa mse kama mimi naweza msikiza hata kama sina odo ya kwenda kununua hiyo gari, I'd be interested.
Hata kuna Range Rover
manze,
ati iko na mileage how nini
20,000
ati hizi leather seats. Wow manze,
anyway,
unaenda una scroll,
you have a good thing going on. So umse akona talent, akona skill, ni mse polarizing figure, unacheki. So akiaka energy yake place yenye it can bring more good than inaweza kuwa fiti. I feel bad for him.
In the World War II, Nazi leader Hitler had a guy, like a minister, cabinet, someone in his what do you call it? Like his, how would I call it? His leadership, right?
Yeah.
A guy who was called Goebbels. Goebbels was in charge of propaganda.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Right?
Yeah.
If there's one thing that this guy Cairo probably did is study that book. Yani proper ile me I don't
kushtua.
Kila wiki
I want to go Jamaica tomorrow, I'm on my way.
Kila wiki kuna kitu.
Yeah.
But what is interesting is this. I remember when I was getting into radio, I know I'm hype, I'm excited, I'm like, yo, I'm in. Unajua pale now, all of those guys in uni, wale walikuwa natuona pale kwa studio, Friday afternoon nimeingia kwa show yangu nacheza gin and juice. Alafu napigio naambia, you can't play that music here. This is a Christian institution. Naambia, man, I'm cooler than this. Naambiwa, do. Alafu unajua hiyo time hata uelewi radio edit nini. So I remember when now I'm checking into Baricho Road.
Homeboys. So from campus radio SPU.
Yeah. To now those ones, right?
Radio, yeah.
And I remember we're having a conversation with Akina Kafi and all of these guys. We're now ready. You're feeling, I've arrived. I'm the man.
Yeah.
And all of that. And now you're trying to this is that era of Gafla, Nini, and all of this. This is now, there was none of these many digital outlets.
Yes.
And I remember G telling me, there's a reason I've avoided so many of these interviews everywhere. I mean, if, like John says, if everything is special,
nothing is special.
Right. If you've worked with John, you know that's a line he always drops. And I can tell you this. You remember, you saw that tweet that you remember, ay manze, tweet.
Miaka inasonga.
Tweet ya nani? Tweet ya, the tweet that I just read.
Fadio Monday.
Yes. And it was in response to this tweet. It says, do you ever ask yourself why bloggers and the media are really obsessed with my case? I mean, every single issue gets primetime coverage. All people are on a payroll and had very strict instructions to ensure that we completely shut down. Bro, you were courting their attention.
Yeah.
As in, ulikuwa ni tuseme leo kuna in media terms we call it a dry day. Cairo's decided, I'm going to fly this babe out. That is entertainment news because...
Field day for media.
Field day because you've already put it out there. Yeah. So, when, like you've said, when you're up, you're down, there's right of coverage. Yeah. It's like when Britney was Britney, she's shaving her whole head off and she was, doing drugs. She was with that guy called Kevin Nini, ilikuwa kila pali.
Yes.
Same as Will Smith. When Will Smith was doing this, Jada is saying this, he's slapping what... Once you're in the public domain like that and you continuously get high off of that supply, I don't see why you're over here coming back and saying, you guys have been sent. Bro, you've been there.
You've been calling us.
You've been there. As in, manze ulikuwa una tweet maparagraph. Unaanza kupigana na Olympian.
Manze.
Unasikia? Guys are taking those tweets and making them into articles. So this is a news item as well. It's not trials and tribulations.
Yeah. Baby with the bath water. It's time to brood. Ushapanda. So unavuna.
The guy also needs to get off his high horse at this point and say, okay, I fucked up.
It's tough.
Like, the pride didn't make a time.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Your ego, man. By the time we pick up, I think most people would opt to make it worse than make it better. Inakuangalia kitu ya, you know how it's harder to break your heart than have your heart broken, but it's more painful to have your heart broken than if you break it yourself. So maybe atangoja, maybe aendelee kufanya vitu zake until sabotage kila kitu tu yanguke, ndio ako like, okay, so now we can start afresh, from the rubble, but it's not a good place.
Enough. Speaking about all of that, nimetiki article, I saw this article sometime, right? And I mean, we kind of touched on it some time back.
Okay.
But would you feel that you as yourself, you've really cut down on what you spend on entertainment? And entertainment doesn't necessarily mean going out to drink. It could be I'm ordering in.
Yes.
I am maybe I used to have a thing where I send my shorty flowers 5 times a month.
Nyamita.
Unaget.
Unaelewa sasa hakuna hiyo budget.
Unaget. Or Nyamita ulikuwa unamkimbiza trip every month, road trip. Unaelewa? Those kind of things. So those are entertainment. Entertainment is very different for people.
Yes.
There's guys who are like, I can't afford to have 2 horses. Unaelewa? There's another guy who's like, manze, bike yangu siwezi peleka Karura. Unaelewa? Cause hiyo gide ya kuchomoka nini? Buru mpaka. Unaelewa? Those kind of things.
Yes.
But are you guys feeling it? Are you guys like, mukiwa huku nje? Let's start from a personal point.
Ujamali kwa yezi ya bana. Unaifeel ama?
Yeye achana ilikuwa safari ya mzazi.
Ulikuwa kwa dime yake.
Daddy paid because daddy's money was paying. But obviously maybe I don't think I'm spending significantly less on. I'm guessing it's sort of like varies. There's times where I go and I napunguza kidogo. Then kuna time inakuja unachoma. Unashuka tena kidogo. So for me it's mine isn't at
it's up down. Yeah,
it's
not extreme.
It keeps changing. So but it's on like a certain It's one wavelength.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why I'm saying this is because it's actually an article in the Business Daily. It says Kenyans spend less on entertainment as taxes, failing business cuts incomes, failing businesses cuts income, right? Now, a survey shows how tough economic times have disrupted Kenyans' habits of enjoying, popular festivities such as just end of year, Christmas, New Year. Majority were unable to spend on entertainment as they were tied by spending on basic needs. We had a tough year last year, right?
Yeah.
A lot of guys now are like, tenda ocha, ntaingia coast, amanta, lipa rent, end of year. Ani lakini tunajua nyi gava muliambio mwache kunywa chai na mandazi.
By that tulifinywa hii I hope this coming financial year.
You guys
trip your team building, man.
You guys should be uko. I saw a tweet, right? And I'm actually even going to transition out of this. We can come back into it. And it was a tweet that I even sent my uncle today. I want to get into this whole thing for Donald Trump, right? I sent this screenshot to my uncle today. And it actually makes a lot of sense. So the backstory is, of course, Donald Trump has come in with a lot of energy. And we touched on it last week on the podcast. We spoke about the 90 days of the stop of giving foreign aid, right?
Yeah, funding,
funding to different kind of things. And this tweet caught my attention. And it was a guy who tweeted and said, the announced pause on U.S. foreign assistance will unfortunately impair the ability for many African countries to meet health and other targets and also, holistically undermine the SDGs. We hope President Trump's administration will figure a way. The tweet where I took the screenshot, Yoija go into all of those details. Then someone replied and said, when you go to those SDG meetings in New York and book yourselves 5-star hotels, your donors are staying in modest 2 and 3-star hotels, using the metro. Nanyini, you guys are uko with big ass motis, what? And you forget that your funder has to kind of wonder, am I funding people who are richer than I am?
Unapeleka boys wako tunamuuliza atakunywa nini and for the most expensive item on the menu.
Greedy.
I know. So there's a lot to unpack. And I feel like this week, something that we said on the podcast unanimously last week, there's no way Africa can be speaking about like the HIV/AIDS pandemic going on to almost 50 years, and we've never really sat down and said, hey, can we have
our own manufacturing
plant for ARVs? Because ARVs, by the way, let's not trivialize it as well. They're not cheap.
Yeah.
You get? And you see ARVs are taken by patients with HIV to lower the count of the virus.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is, the more you take it, the less. Like it lowers the count of the virus to a point where it can be detected, but it's not as loud, for lack of medical
terms.
You understand? Yeah. So but we've had 50 years.
Yeah.
Unataka kuniambia, see, Africa Union has a part that has to do with health. Right? When we're even saying, hey, let's do SDGs.
I think it's a lot of these things where I don't know what our African leaders do generally think about. When you sit down and see at the 40, 50 African presidents have flown to Italy for a conference on African something.
Yeah.
What do the Italians know that so much that they are summoning all these presidents to go? And remember when Ruto came into office, he had come with a lot of Nini saying it doesn't make sense for all of us to be going there. If they then want a meeting with Nini, we have an AUC delegation that can easily be sent 5-6 guys wenda wakae chini kwa boardroom. But then these guys still go, and I think it then moves from a position of wanting to have the interests of your countrymen to a position of some certain personal interest. Maybe it's God knows whatever happens in those meetings and what they speak about. Like Karuna said, on Enda Mto Wakoko, they get booked in the best of hotels, chartered planes, flying business fast,
first class, private, charters.
You get what I'm saying? it's a lot of many misplaced priorities and things.
But you know, having said that, right, I beg, and I thought about this, and I was going to ask you guys this, right, and I don't want to destabilize no conversation or dialogue that's happening. But what's more pressing right now as a Kenyan, health or climate change?
Health, easily.
Always health.
Yes, but why is it that I feel that last year we had how many holidays to plant trees?
But yeah, obviously. But that's what we're saying. Misplaced priority.
Yes. I mean,
if anything, I don't think we do much to climate disaster as other countries do.
America, China, Europe, you know.
Guys are doing terrible things. Then if, for whatever this whole discussion on carbon credits is, I don't know much about it. I wouldn't be...
Yes, myself, I'm not in the... But from the little that I know...
The little that I know, until we are planting trees to have carbon credits, we don't need carbon. We don't exude so much that into the climate that then we need to also do so much.
Also, when is that going to pay off? When is that going to pay off?
Literally. You get, like, say for instance, right? So we get a lot of foreign aid for medical and also for education and so many other different things. You know, we've gotten grants here and there for different kind of things.
And now we're also chasing the money for climate change anyway.
Yes,
so
we are. Yeah, and of course, we had how many public holidays? Was it 3 last year or 2? Zilikuwa mob, zilikuwa panda miti. Yeah, so it really got me thinking, why is it that we're pushing such a huge thing? Yet, I mean, we've seen the whole conversation about Shy and everything. Yeah. But how about we say, hey, we've built a particular, and of course they are there, but we just don't speak about them. How about we say KEMSA, the sole purpose of KEMSA is to import medicine for distribution to the hospitals and what have you. How about we say Turkana, there's a lot of land out there. We build an industrial park that's going to be towards ARVs or these different kind of things, because the conversation has to be had.
Yeah.
The other day when we're talking about vaccination of cattle, your vaccine sinatengenezwa huku. Sindio? See, we can do it.
Yeah.
Unaelewa?
Like that energy has to be put towards.
But kama hiyo kitu ya vaccine inatengenezwa huku, lakini mtu anaitengeneza si ametoka US.
Yeah.
Mbona wako na capacity ya kutengeneza huko kwanza waanze na ng'ombe zao? Why is it that then sisi ndo tumekuwa tena guinea pigs?
Hiyo story ya ng'ombe, by the way, it's a hell of an interesting one. I don't have all the details and I don't want to be misquoted, but I get your point. But still, I remember when we were, or let's even use something very complicated. We can even use medicine men in the African traditional heritage. Once ulikuwa na peo apprenticeship na medicine man, anakuambia dawa ya malaria ni hii, dawa ya cholera ni hii. So you learn. Yeah. And I feel like even today, apprenticeship is the same thing. A doctorate, a what? Same thing as a pilot. You go, you taught, you whatever. It doesn't make sense for us to keep buying medicine from the same people on and on and on. Yeah. And we have the resources, we have good, very brilliant minds out here that we can train. Yeah. A lot of people who are educated but don't have jobs. So there's an opportunity to create jobs. Yeah. Land.
But then you see now, and then we have a government that is so obsessed with exporting labor.
Yeah.
So we found jobs abroad, the jobs that have been found, drivers.
You know.
It's a sad situation to be in.
Also, do you think there's a savior complex at play over here? Like even us, badala ya kuangalia within, right? Like let's say what Muammar Gaddafi was trying to do, unite the whole Africa and let's back our currency on natural resources that we know si rahisi could deplete. Let's use the gold, let's use the minerals. We have rainforests, we have deserts, and we can do so much, right? Excuse me, but of course, while you destabilize your plan and whatever happened. But I don't see that kind of mentality anymore. It's always, let's seek help outside. As opposed, yani kama tumekuwa conditioned, design yenye, hatuwezi jisaidia sisi wenyewe. And the ones who are trying, yes, it's not maybe enough, or they are not garnering enough support. From guys of their own. Like wasiwame, by the time niamini mse wangu ama niamini mse ametoka majuu ananiambia 1 2 3 things na tikilifu yake iko sawa nini, I'll be more inclined kusikiza huyo mse kuliko nisikize boys wangu na idea yenye ako nayo, maybe to develop. And yes, it might be at a primary phase, but everything starts somewhere, unacheki. So maybe by the time ukuje ku accept that, we actually can do something from within ile design yenye, if all sources are cut off. If our waters are cut off from outside funding, unaona tutadediaje hapa tukiangaliana na kuna gold pale Congo, you know, tutaangalianaje tukidedi hapa, and we have so much food, we have fruits, we have coffee, we have
we have chocolate.
If one day God forbid something happens in the universe and Africa is more landlocked than it is, we have zero access to any other planet.
If, like, say for instance,
are we going to look at each other and die? No.
I wouldn't say I know much about it, but I guess I would want to then say how maybe majority of our population is not a population that is well enough learned to think the same way you're thinking. You don't share the same school of thoughts. And maybe the people who then think that way are so comfortable in their lives to a position where they're like, this thing doesn't really affect me. Your money is coming in, your salary, you can afford 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's also this thing where that divide of these guys genuinely can say this is wrong, but the majority who then are manipulated by a certain class and told sisi tutawasaidia nini, so hiyo sisi naona huyu tukimpatia atatusaidia, hiyo mentality ya kutusaidia I don't think is I think is what should be killed, because it's meant to be atatufanyia kazi, not like at you save, you're not here to save us, you're not a messiah of some certain sort. So it's the comfortability that then has come with guys who are learned and their lives are okay and in a position where they can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then other guys then have been completely hit to the sense of hopelessness, where it's like,
you know,
desperation.
This conversation, I agree with both of you what you've said, right? But still easier said than done, for sure. Quite, and of course a lot of ignorance, like you've said, and a lot of people and it's to some extent it's conditioning, right? Because the vision that you have and the exposure that you have is not what someone else has, right? Like you could ask someone, hey, what's your vision of the year 2025, right? And someone could say, hey, it could be for me moving from having like 100 shillings a day to 200, which that is his vision, and you can't knock that, right? But to some extent it has to get to a point where that person has to say, okay, cool, I want to and that is where you have a lot of, you know, rural urban migration, but still, do we have an economy as large to support that? You get? And in essence, we should have an economy that's also able to support the rural. Like agriculture is the backbone, which should be there. If we can feed ourselves, and you tell people, by the way, agriculture can be sexy. Let's plant and do this and what. And you know, food becomes cheap, and we even produce to export. A good example, Ukraine, even in war, Russia, even in war, they literally are the biggest suppliers of grain. You get? So, you know, your maize, you need that. Wheat is coming from that area. Yani, they're feeding themselves and they have surplus even in war to be able to. That's crazy. You understand? But these are some of the effects of neocolonialism that are so heavily entrenched into some of our leaders, right? So like say the former president Uhuru Kenyatta, when he was doing his campaign, he had a thing called Cambridge Analytica. Which is was it from the UK or something, right? And you understand that some of these countries have very vested interests over here. So the guy, Cambridge Analytica, when they're coming up with a whole strategy towards campaigning for a particular candidate who's favored by, say, the monarchy or the Commonwealth, they have to factor in what are some of the things they're going to get. And that is a perfect example of what is happening in Congo right now. Congo has the French, it has Sijui mercenaries from where, and you know, Congo's just a sad situation that has unfolded for years on end. You get? Like now, Goma, everything that's happening, it can be accessed. There's a whole army from a neighboring country that's been sent there. As of today, when I was checking out the headlines, the EAC was supposed to have a virtual meeting, and the president of DRC has said, I don't feel like attending this thing. You get? Like, so there's so many of that. And yesterday I saw, and the French have really been linked onto this story for years on years, right? And I saw Ruto say, I spoke to the president of of France, and we agreed on this and this, and calling for all of this. But everybody does know what the problem is. You get? And the problem for Congo's the minerals.
Yeah.
It's been there for so long.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And these people, like, boss, I don't think people understand Congo. Now, you got to look at Congo like this. Congo, you know, they have to use our coastline to get their goods in. Because the Congo towards the Atlantic is not easily accessible. DRC. Because you know that's where the river Congo gets into the ocean. So like getting into that, and it's a huge river, going upstream is quite difficult. Ease is through this, right? And then as you exit Rwanda and as you exit Uganda into Congo, there's also the rift and a very dense forest. You get?
Yeah.
So it's in a very interesting area. And there's been so many sections that have been divided to different countries. I think I've seen enough videos online of the Chinese mining. What's this thing they use for battery production? Cobalt, right?
Yeah.
I've seen the gold coming from there to where there's so many different kind of minerals, right? So it's one of those places on earth that is really just God-forsaken, for lack of a better word, and these guys know intentionally why they will destabilize that to make sure that for them they're getting all of the minerals out.
Maximum benefits.
Yeah. And for them, you come as a leader and try and fight this, you're out.
They put their own guy.
Yeah, I mean, this has happened in so many places. You get? Like if you come try and pull this whole stability, or I've got the vision for the country and what, bro, who are you? One man, you're out.
You have a dream like Martin Luther.
You get? Yeah. And here's the thing, it's not that complicated. Like I'll use you as an example. You are a president. You've got an idea. He is a guy who's got different ideas from you. He probably wants to make money. He's a rebel leader. He will be provided with guns, ammunition, and
they'll
money.
They'll give him what he wants.
What he wants.
In exchange for what they want.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And you
wahenga walisema, you know, when someone kills a mother rat, they'll make sure that the kids don't know the poison that killed the mother rat. So that the next time they set the trap, you don't know, oh, this is the thing that took out mom.
Yeah.
So you end up taking the same thing, and then generation after generation after generation. So it's a thing of, we are very dangerous people when we are ignorant. And it's because sometimes we don't know what we don't know. We can sense that something is wrong, but then we have not been properly equipped to maneuver these challenges and all that. So I think it takes one awareness, you know, kila mse tu, you make sure that the next person knows what's going on. And I think end of the day, if unajua tunaangalia kitu as a hard thing, if we're trying to solve a national issue, and we look at it as such a hard thing to tussle or tackle over there, like we want it to be solved right now with anything that we can get. But end of the day, unajua inakuanga down to society, inakuanga down to the family unit, because how a family unit functions shows you how the society functions at large. If tunapigana huko juu about these things, bro, ushaenda kwa beshte yako and you hear the political views of their parents and you're like, wow, god damn. Okay, I see now. And maybe you go back home, you know, maybe your parents have a different ideology or perspective or whatever, but inakwanga maybe even about the accommodating. We've been raised up in homes where, kukwa too honest, the tribal thing has affected generations past so much, such that families don't want to mix. Like, usiende kutafuta mtu huko, ama usinilete mtu ametoka huko. So if we're having such issues at the granular level, hakuna vile tunaweza expect to solve zenye ziko huko juu, because end of the day it comes down to the wire, bro. If we solve things at the family unit, at the societal unit, then hizi vitu zingine things zitakuwa tu poa, because at the end of the day the president is a family man, the vice president anaenda home, our watoto wanaenda home, they have families, they have kids. And this is something they've been saying over and over again, through the abductions, through the mandamanos. We also have kids. We also are parents.
Yeah, don't touch my kids.
Hey,
Yeah?
but then you're out there touching other people's kids just because leo si wewe, you know. So if you solve things at the granular level, at the societal level, pale kwenye family unit, I think kila kitu itakuwa sawa. You don't eat a whole elephant at once.
Yeah.
You chop it off, you chop it down. Kamkia hapa mguu pale.
But I think just there's something in the air, and I think Africans just need to wake the fuck up. It's about time, cause this shit can't go on, but
No, long overdue.
Yeah.
you can't have a plan, a place like Africa where so much is being taken out of, like, minerals. We've got a lot of minerals. We've got a lot of potential. We've also got, even in terms of just sheer population, we've got easily the youngest population.
Yeah.
You get, like, in terms of energy, kilojoules, potential, education, everything that we're doing. You get a very young population.
Yeah.
You get.
Do you think the coming population will then maybe wired to think differently, and are they gonna be of change?
They are, but you see the problem.
Like in leadership, generally.
They are, and I can see there's change even in terms of, like, when I speak to different people from different parts of the continent and what they want to achieve. I can see a whole lot of Pan-Africanism in a way of, hey, let's collaborate on this. There's entertainment. I want to do this. I want to do a symposium, or I want to try this and that. It's gotten a bit easier, especially with, like, the gigs that we're doing.
Yeah.
How we're like now I can say Basketball League Africa. We didn't have that.
Yeah.
You get. Now it's Andy can be able to say, hey, I want to connect with some guys who are playing basketball in Dakar. I can invite them. We can, ball over here. I can go there. I can understand. I can see an opportunity that I didn't see in Kenya, or rather the opportunities here.
Yeah.
I can deploy that in Dakar, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So there's all of that. Even the fact that, Kenya, at least we've said we're not going to have a visa to guys. There's only 2 countries that have been barred from that. Is it Libya? Somalia and Libya. 2 of them.
Sudan.
Yeah.
No, Sudan's allowed.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's Somalia and Libya. So those are initiatives that enable us. Now, the next thing that we need to now have a conversation about is airfare. Why should it cost me so expensive to fly on the continent? And these are some of the things that are not even controlled by probably the guys who control aviation in Africa. These are some of the things that are globally controlled, like the routes. You have to fly over this. So, these kind of things.
Tariffs and all that.
Yeah, there's a lot, right? But now, the Africa Union, the leadership, they need to start looking at all of this. Even in terms of even saying, hey, let's create a super highway on the continent. If you're going to the north, use that. If you're going to the west, use that. If you're going to the east, if you're going south, use that. You get? And all of this, because, there's people who want to fly. There's guys who have to, goods have to be moved.
Yes.
By road and all of these different kind of things. So the leadership has to really change, and it can't be these guys who are like honestly, for me, I'll use an example. Atuoli, bro, needs to go home. You get?
It's a lot of people who need to go home, because I don't see why. Even this whole, like, if you see Rigathi meeting up with these other guys and saying we're coming to liberate the country, what is it that that you've never done all this whole time that you guys have been in this position? How can Atuoli, who is in his 70s, know what's good for me as a 25-year-old person?
Bro, it's like today I saw someone tweet, bruh, this was actually painful. It said, how is an 80-year-old man going for a job of a 50-year-old person? So this was in reference to Raila Odinga's AU chairman bid. And I was just like, whoa, okay. 80-year-old going for a 50-year-old? You get?
And also, does that maybe show that there could be a big gap between them and the people that they should? You see the apprenticeship thing that you were talking about, the next guys who are coming in office. Like, do we see them maybe show that kind of leadership to the guys who are behind them, so that when they step out of office, everything is still going to be in order? Our guys are just there until I'm done. You know,
I'm actually glad that you mentioned that. I'm actually glad that you mentioned that because this is actually a conversation I've had before, right? Would you believe that in Kenya there's actually a huge gap in terms of age in leadership? There's not that many guys in their 40s who are MPs. Do you know that? Like there's a lot of guys 60s, 50s, 40s wako, but not as many.
Then a little bit of 30s.
Yes. And some of these things, you got to look at them as, okay, cool, I might be a guy who's a visionary and I want to be an MP or even, okay, let's say an MP. But my entry level into being an MP, like say in Nairobi, how much minimum do I need for me to run? Like 100 million. Where do I have access to 100 million as a 30-year-old? You get?
Yeah.
So some of these things, so...
It's already an unfair game.
Very. How am I going to be a person who's trying to run for a seat to unseat you on zero funds? I mean, it has happened.
Yeah.
We saw in Mombasa when Muhammad Ali, Jichopevu, when he first ran, when he had to run as an independent. But still, he'd spent quite a bit of money. But everybody knows, you know, campaigns in Kenya are not being won by policy. Most of the time.
Or in the cash.
Yep. So you get...
They're giving us the fish.
But then even older guys have this thing of like, hapana we bado hujakuwa.
Kwanza hata nakwambia
kwanza kuchukua we bado hujakoma.
But and I've noticed this, even the president said it the other day, and before the president said it, even Nani said it at Wetangula's mom's funeral. Kimani Shungwa, he said, wewe umeingia politics juzi tu umetupata. Even when the speaker was giving his speech at Kilimani police station in regards to his abduction of the son, former speaker, he's mentioned and said, I can't be responding to people who just came to parliament the other day. The president the other day, when he was giving a speech in Kakamega the other day, was like, si tumekuwa ikitu politics miaka nyingi?
Kuna this mentality for kwanza, this thing for telling young people, you guys, you still have time, bado msijali, wasi tutatoka tu,
you just arrived,
you still have a lot of years ahead of you, you'll use it. Guys, I think then leadership should start as young as possible, because there's nothing a 60-year-old man is doing in the interest of an 18-year-old guy. I'm trying to make the future better. No. It's because you're not going to be here for long anyway, to truth be said.
And they'll need in that office or in that department to hire someone who is of that age or age group to explain things to them, manze. So instead of going through the kuna mseme pata mboka, yes, it's an opportunity
for watu. So because age of retirement in Gawa it's 55 to 60. What for some uko 60 wezi run.
Why you running even at 60?
Uachana na kitu wewe enda home.
Yeah, I think it's time. A good dancer knows the best time to leave the dance floor.
These guys don't want to leave the dance floor.
But has the tune is changing right now. Unajua kuna kwa ukienda club si ndio? DJ anacheza ngoma, kuna ile da maybe unaanguka nayo. But akibadilisha maybe aike R&B ama aike EDM, itabidi pia umebadilisha dance. So right now it feels like the music is changing pole pole. And these guys are finding cause unajua dance more. You only know one dance style, bro, that you've been dancing for God knows how many years. So now that they're playing a different genre of music, you don't know how to. You're trying to dance to haingiani.
But I feel like even us,
we're gonna get kicked out of the couch, bro.
We should also blame ourselves to some certain extent in this sense. So, for example, in this room, say Calvin is running for office. Calvin has come and told us, boss, if I become governor, where I'll get you this thing, I'll get you this thing. As human nature, you get excited.
Yes.
So what are you going to do? You will do your best to make sure that Calvin does get in office.
Because it's our time to eat.
It's our time to eat. When we're going to supply chai City Hall. you know it, unaget. Of course you are against corruption, but unasemanga you only complain when you're not eating.
Exactly.
Same, it's like Rigathi, hii kelele yote anapiga sahi.
Si angetupigia tu nini. Karen atuambia, I'm here to tell you. But then me I have respect. There's a guy who was director of government delivery. The other day. Manzi Uleli nini ameresign. Wamsenda heshima yake mbaya. Alipiga speech akasema mimi the president appointed me, nakambia watu wa Nakuru nimepatia huyu mtu wenyu kazi. The guy said me I don't want to go back to Nakuru. Guys are stopping me and telling me, bro, kwani amfanyi kazi? He's like, me I'm a professional. And I've delivered. I know, like I've worked with systems. The guy was like, you know what, me I can't do this. That is a guy with principle. A lot of people lack that. Because the guy he articulated.
And it starts to upper kwa
ground level.
Na kila mtu Calvin imagine anaomba kura, mtu hata mnaweza kwa tu unajuanga mimi ni share meza na Calvin kwa club. Akona kura yangu. Why? Simply because I'll have one, proximity to power. Kuna zile masimu ndakuwa napiga mashida zangu kidogo zinasolviwa. Two, access to some certain amount of bread. So by all means, let him have his way. Whatever policy he's selling, I really could care less.
That's the problem.
And it's true. When I let Calvin run tomorrow, he has my vote.
That's the thing. So you see that change, and this is just not even just here, across the continent. I mean, here's the thing. Like just concluded elections in the US.
Yes.
The Democrats have a different way at which they view things, as do the Republicans. And we're starting to see a lot now, right? The Republicans would have probably, the Democrats would have probably gone, they'd pitch this when they were campaigning and these other guys. But I feel in terms of a democracy, of course, they're older democracies than we are. We're still very young in that regard. But to some point, we need to now start doing politics that is based upon a certain principle. Like I know, hawa watu wanakuanga hivi. These guys are like this. This whole sijui every 5 years we need a new coalition. Ati ni tu ile nakwambia sasa mimi hata mimi by then naona naweza fungua political party nini huko Mount Kenya huko.
Chore manifesto tu watu.
Bro, ni register tu watu 10,000. Naingia pale kwa national dialogue nasema nimekamna vijana wangu
10,000 watu wangu 10k.
Mimi ni chapwe tu kanini. Ka nominated MP. That's the way it is. Because it's a game of numbers. Ati uko na kina nani? Unashua unaweza tuletea ose ngiri ya taso. That's it. Na unaitwa watch this. The current coalition right now that is in power, they will have to break up at some point. Why? Because those guys have to go back, create, it has to fold. Create some new party or call it this or that, and then bring it back to the table to say,
this is us now.
This is my bargaining chip. Bro, watu wanaganika
chess. No checkers.
Bana. I swear to God, angalia hapa 2026 pale nini tukienda kugonga August, kugonga September. Watu wanaanza wing kuchomoka. Inakuanga hivyo.
Kama saizi si elections AU ni this coming month February, like 15th or 20th.
15th I think.
Oh, I'm telling you, if in the event that Baba wins, ODM me I think kwanza inaenda kusambaratika hivi. Unaona sasa already kuna hiyo madiva watu washaanza kupigana na Sifuna nini. Unajua people usually in ODM they really only respect Baba. So when Baba is out of it, sasa hakuna ule mtu wa kushikanisha manyumba. Itaanguka. Rigathi ndio amesema anaenda ku announce chama yake, anaenda kutoka na watu wake UDA pia ndio hiyo yeye na ANC after their merger wa kuenda madhe shaken thing is. By the time we are coming to end of next year we'll have 3 new parties.
Unakuaga tu mchezo.
Tupigie ma options mazo tupigie.
Alafu mnaambio maendeleo, same question I asked on the pod last year. When is maendeleo supposed to be affected? Bro, anyway, listen. Is episode 293?
293 manze.
Yeah, man. It's been a good one. Second half
of the episode has been quite serious.
We've impregnated them.
Yote bagi yenu.
Knowledge. Shukran, cheers.
Thank you guys for having me. Nitarudi.
Ukisharudi kutoka Russia ni sawa, you can come. This has been the Mics Are Open, episode 293. My name is Big C.
And Young and George Nyamita.
Adios, muchachos.